hello. Not nearly as pissed off as I was last week at the QSPS stuff, mostly because our governor here in Oregon, TIMECODES, does not have line item veto. I clarified that. So what's done is done with qualified small business stock, but we can always think about ways to, repair that. Like once you do the law, you can do things to correct the law. And I'm really sorry that the Portland sign seems to be really vibrating today. I don't know why. It's just got the weird thing happening. So maybe if I adjust my lighting or something, it'll change. But please just ignore and let's get through what happened this week. Happy Friday the 13th. Happy Silicon Forest Tech Summit Eve. Happy Pi Day Eve. I've got a bunch of quick hit things to get through, news items that, don't want to spend a ton of time on, but I feel like you should know about. The big news this week is Silicon Forest Tech Summit. It's the biggest event of the year. Thousands of people. Like I gotta go to rehearsal for that because I'm on stage. So just give me a sec. Okay, back from that. Look forward to seeing you. Hope you're there at Silicon Forest Tech Summit. I want to do some of the old quick hits on news. Brad Heller, Pi alum, longtime Portland startup community person, was at About Us and Jive and all kinds of things, did his own startup, went to work for Cloudability, then built a company called Reflect that got acquired by Puppet. Now he's working on something called Tower, and they just raised $6.4 million in funding. Unfortunately, Brad, no longer here. He's in London, but he comes back to visit from time to time. So congratulations to former Portland startup community member Brad Heller on that activity. Again, I talked about the QSPS stuff. There's nothing we can really do about it at this point, but let's keep an eye on it. We gotta fix that. That's a problem. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, again, go watch last week's video. I went deep on qualified small business stock and what Oregon is doing there, and it's a mess. So be that what it may, let's just keep moving on. Had the opportunity to chat with the folks at Axios about small business and startups and those kind of things, and they put out that post this week to cover that stuff about what's going on in Oregon with small business. And Portland Business Journal covered the QSBS stuff. Also talked about PDXWIT, Portland Women in Tech, coming back. So that's interesting. If you're a PDXWIT fan, as I know we all are, it's exciting to see that organization kind of rekindled, rebooting, and I look forward to seeing what they're doing for women in the technology industry. I will say that if you're not familiar with PDXWIT, they were easily the best professional organization going prior to the pandemic and even throughout the pandemic. And I think that's the most important part is PDXWIT kept going, kept working throughout the pandemic to keep the community engaged, to help their constituency in tech find the people and connections that they needed to continue to do programming. They did an amazing job. And then, just people with the whole DEI thing or anti-DEI thing stopped funding it. So it kind of went into not even zombie mode. It basically went away. But now they're rebooting it. Thank you to Malia Spencer for covering the PDXWIT stuff. I'm going to link it up so that you're aware of what's going on with PDXWIT. But if you appreciated Portland Women in Tech and you would like to get re-engaged, the good news is it's back. So please re-engage with that organization. Other kind of like rebooting, sort of, that's not even a good transition, but like I used to go to Seattle all the time for startup events, and GeekWire kept doing really amazing startup events, but some of the other startup events kind of fell off. So I'm really glad to see my buddy from way back in the startup world, Marcelo Calbucci, has started a Seattle Flow, and Seattle Flow is hosting a startup day in May for all startups throughout the Pacific Northwest. Lots of good programming. The only challenge is early bird pricing ends really today. So if you're watching this over the weekend, there's still cheaper than full price tickets available. However, I hope you're watching this on Friday, and if you are, please go grab your ticket. Right now, Silicon Florist is happy to be a media sponsor for this event. Super psyched to see it happening. Looking forward to heading up to Seattle to hang out with a bunch of people during Startup Day, and I'm hoping you will join me. And if there are enough of us coming up from Portland to Seattle, maybe we just get on the train and all hang out and go do that thing, like Geeks on the Train kind of thing up to Seattle. I don't know. Maybe. Could work. Founders Live is coming back to Portland. Like, Portland has dealt with like having Founders Live and it kind of going away, and then us trying to reboot it, and then it's coming back, and then we reboot it again. And yeah, anyway, Founders Live, which is a global kind of thing, has a Portland presence, has had a Portland presence from time to time, and that is coming back. They're trying some hackathon activity, and we'll talk more about hackathon activity later in the episode. But just wanted you to know that if you're looking for another place to hack with people, to do things, build things, get connected with the community through hacking, Founders Live may be another good way to do that. And then finally, like, not typically Portland news, but happens in Seattle. So wanted folks to be aware of this. Jay Graber, who has been CEO of Blue Sky, Jay's out of Seattle. She has stepped aside to really focus more on product and those kinds of things. And Tony Schneider, who is from True Ventures, was the CEO at Automatic, the WordPress people, for a while. He has stepped in as the CEO of Blue Sky. So we're keeping an eye on that because I'm a huge fan of Blue Sky, and there are a lot of folks locally who work on at Proto and Blue Sky and those kind of things. So just wanted you to be aware of that from a broader news perspective. Okay, getting sort of local. Big story, of course, sort of local, is Silicon Forest Tech Summit. But it's happening Saturday, March 14th, Pi Day. So if you haven't gotten that figured out, or perhaps you're watching this a little later in the weekend, you may have missed out. And I'm sorry, because it's an amazing event. I'm looking forward to be there, but I'm looking forward to be there. I'm looking forward to being there. I'm not looking forward to speaking on stage, but I will, because Yosef and Ashley and the entire crew do such a good job. I'm like, I can be uncomfortable on stage for a few minutes to help you out if you think that's helpful. So I will be doing that. And as I said, I just got back from the rehearsal kind of dry run to see what was going on. Maybe I even have some footage of what's happening and what people are doing and those kind of things. And I will definitely try and capture some footage during the event itself, but they will not be part of this because I'm recording this prior to the event happening. So trust that I will have some footage for next week from Silicon Forest Tech Summit at the Oregon Convention Center. I'm just saying, just show up. Like, show up at like noon on Saturday, March 14th, Pi Day. See if you can get a ticket. See if they'll let you in, because I got some pie for you to eat while you're at the event. So just come on by. Or a sticker. Maybe I'll bring stickers. I don't know. Like, I had the stickers. I don't even know if I had stickers around here anymore. I think I do. Stickers? You want a sticker? Sticker? Come see me. I'll give you a sticker. It'll all be good. Okay, so that's Silicon Forest Tech Summit. The big pseudo Portland company news is a company called Depot. there's a hair on my beard that keeps catching the corner of my eye, and I would like it to be in control. So apologize for that. Company called Depot went through Y Combinator. The founder had formerly been at Zapproved, was part of Portland before they built this tool, and that founder wound up relocating to France, but they still have a significant Portland footprint, including Chris Bright, who's the co-founder of Zapproved, is part of the Depot team as, I think, chief revenue officer. He's a marketing revenue type. So I think I'm remembering that correctly. Sorry, Chris, if I screwed that up. But the big news is this YC alum, Depot, has raised a $10 million Series A. And that's nice to see for them, because I know they have Portland folks that they employ, and maybe they're growing. Maybe with the $10 million, they're growing their Portland footprint. I just wanted to highlight them because we're always looking for companies that can be kind of those aspirational marquee companies for the Portland startup community. And I don't care if the founder, Kyle, is in France, so long as there's some claim to Portland. That's a big deal. And if they're hiring people in Portland, that's a big deal. When I originally saw this, I thought it was another one of the Earth Class Mail mistakes. And if you're not familiar with Earth Class Mail, there is a company called Earth Class Mail in Beaverton, and they had originally started and then relocated to Seattle and then came back. But the whole thing about Earth Class Mail is they take your mail into a PO box, they digitize it, and they email it to you, or if you need, they will send it to you. But basically, the challenge with Earth Class Mail is that startups love Earth Class Mail, so much so that many register Earth Class Mail as their primary corporate address, regardless of where they are in the world. So often we will get news stories that come in. They're like, oh, this Beaverton company just raised $1 billion. And I'm like, I've never heard of that company. How did a Beaverton company do that? It's because they use Earth Class Mail as their PO box, and then people mistakenly say they're Beaverton company when they're not. Depot is not this case. Depot really started around here, even though the founder has since relocated. So I will continue to track Depot because it's a YC alum, because it originally started here, because they have a footprint here. $10 million. Hopefully they're growing. Congrats on that fundraise. I look forward to seeing what Depot does here locally with their startup pursuits. And then, I talked about the Claude Code hackathon. I don't want to steal any thunder here. This is one of those situations where I really want to reveal to you who won and what happened and all the things and stuff. But fact of the matter is, I wasn't there. I didn't write it up. Other people took the opportunity to write it up and provide you with really compelling information about what was going on. I mean, our friend Sam Keen, Sam Keen, who runs the Portland AI engineers as well. He helped throw this hackathon together and did a great job of documenting it. And the winner, I'm not even going to reveal the winner, but the winner, if you want to know who that is, they're already this is maybe a real product that they're thinking about launching. So that's amazing. Coming out of a hackathon. Look at all these things that you want to find out about that I can't tell you about in this thing because other people deserve the credit. So you should go read their post about the Claude Code hackathon thingamajig and who won and who did what and all those kind of things. And I'm sorry to be kind of secretive about it. I don't like keeping things from you. I know we have a good rapport, and I don't want to pretend that I know things that you don't, but I also just feel really bad about revealing a bunch of stuff when somebody else deserves the credit for revealing it. So I'll link out to Sam's post. You can go read that. Once you've read it, tell me. Then maybe we can tell people next week about all the stuff going on, but I will be tracking on that startup that looks like they're going to launch the product that they built at the Claude Code hackathon. So, of course, I'm psyched about that. Love hackathons, miss hackathons. Hackathons were such a part of Portland's culture that I'm really excited to seeing them come back. And look at how much better of a mood I'm in talking about hackathons than qualified small business stock bullshit. Love the hackathons, hate the QSBS stuff we're having to deal with. Okay, my voice is about to go, and I'm going to have to speak tomorrow, so I should cut it off and call this the end. Thanks for showing up and all those kind of things. All right, so now we're into secrets. Friday the 13th, Pi Day tomorrow. We talked about Silicon Forest Tech Summit. I'm excited to go there, see people. I'm not excited to be on stage, but I will do what I gotta do. And that should be all good. I had another startup story conversation drop this week. And oh, I'm sorry. I might not have set this up. So you're like, why did you just go out of character? Because this is the secrets section. This is where I don't try and be all polished and peppy and happy. I just be me and tell you about what's going on with other things. So welcome to Secrets. If you haven't been here before, it's Silicon Forest Tech Summit. Talk to Decisio Media, Chris Piercy, who's currently in the Oregon AI Accelerator program, about his product that kind of takes the concept of the dating swiping stuff for films and TV and things. So if you're interested in that conversation, I will link that up. I encourage you to listen to that. Again, I mentioned Cale Williams at Axios reached out. I had the chance to chat with him, had a great conversation with him. Really appreciate him taking the time to chat about what's going on with startups and small business. Met with a bunch of founders this week. There was our friends at HeavyBit, a venture capital firm with some local representation, some local investments. They put together a kind of happy hour for infrastructure folks. So went out to that last night. There are a bunch of people from the old days and people from the new days, and like just a really good event, and really appreciate HeavyBit doing that work for the community, and look forward to the next one already. That was great. I met, all kinds of folks doing interesting things. There are other like kind of big events next week as well that I'm looking forward to. Been talking to people. Again, it's interesting because we're kind of in one of those stages where like there are big public events going, but we're also starting to see more kind of exclusive, curated, what is the word I'm looking for? They're just like not come one, come all kind of events. They're not private, but like they're just more curated events. And there'll be a few more of those next week that I'm excited to talk about. Had some great conversations with Pi alums. Had a great conversation with a founder I met because I went down to Eugene to do a pub talk, and I may get to go down to Bend to do something similar. So stay tuned. I'm always excited to get to go more places in this great state of Oregon to talk to founders about what they're building. So that's exciting too. And yeah, so just a lot. I mean, I'm like a lot less cranky than last week, still upset, but I'm kind of past it because there's really nothing we can do now. And Washington is doing similar stuff. I really don't know what it does to startups and startup financing, but we'll just keep an eye on it and we'll do the best we can. And if you're working on a startup, trust that we will figure out how to help you as best we can. Okay. Trying to think of other stuff that's coming up. That's really all I've got. Hope to have some footage from Silicon Forest Tech Summit. I also shared, I've been working with Claude Code to help me organize my Obsidian kind of vault. And so I put up some videos about that. And if you're working in Claude Code and want to share some tips or tricks, I would really appreciate that as well. I've really been going deep on Claude Code in the terminal lately, just to help me better organize my thoughts and all that kind of thing. So if you're doing that same thing, I would love to hear more about it. Okay. All right. Look, we're both adults here. This is really all I have to say. I hope you're hanging in there until we get the chance to chat again. Please keep up the good work.